last class mein we studied what is a tissue, the uses of tissues, and all of the different types of plant tissues. And is class mein will cover all of the types of animal tissues. So because I've already taught this, I'll just go over this jaldi se so that you understand the animal tissues wala part that we're studying aaj. So I'll just go over whatever we taught last class jaldi se. So
Okay,
pehle what
ma'am.
basically you know na ki what is a multicellular organism? Just say
Yes,
like
ma'am.
just like humans, plants, dogs, whatever. So matlab, any organism that's more than one cell is called multicellular organisms. So in organisms mein, there is a division of labor. Matlab, in our bodies, there are many different functions that are being performed. Hai na? Like the heart is pumping blood, the bones are moving, the muscles are moving. Let's say there is a division of labor across many different parts of the body. So in order to make this efficient, in order to perform this division of labor, we have tissues. Taki different tissues can perform different functions that helps with the division of labor. Basically, our body is designed to give the highest possible efficiency of function. Matlab, the tissues are there so that we can divide the labor, divide the work between different organs in our body. And this division of work is done by the tissues. So different tissues have different functions. For example, the blood is a tissue, the muscle is a tissue, the bone is a tissue. Let's see, different parts of our body have different functions, and these functions are carried out by the tissues. So basically a small textbook definition would be कि a group of cells that are similar in structure or work together to achieve a particular function forms a tissue. ठीक है? So there's two main differences between plant tissues and animal tissues. ठीक है? पहले इसकी plant tissues are dead whereas animal tissues are living. Now the reason for this is कि plants are stationary, है ना? They don't move. Which means that most tissues that they have are there to give the plant support. But if you compare this to animals, animals move around a lot, है ना? तो मतलब the functions that the animal tissues perform will be more than just support, but will also be pumping blood, moving the muscles, etc. So इसलिए the animal tissues need to be alive so that they can help the animal perform their living functions. Whereas plants में mostly the job of the tissues is to just give support, है ना? तो इसलिए the tissues are dead. Now, secondly, plant tissues are localized, animal tissues are uniform. That's the second difference. इसका मतलब है कि in a plant, the growth is specified at local regions. Okay, so the tissue in those regions will grow. But in animals, for growth through tissues, the growth happens throughout the body. So इसलिए the tissues are uniformly spread throughout the body for growth. But the plant tissues for growth are only localized in certain areas because plants only grow in certain areas, like the root, the stem, and the tip. But animal tissues are uniform throughout the animal body. ठीक है? So interrupt me, ठीक है, बीच में if you have any questions. So those are the two main differences of plant tissues versus animal tissues. For now, I'll start elaborating on one type of plant tissue, जो है meristematic tissues. Now, I just said na ki the growth of plants occurs only in specific regions. This is because meristematic tissue is located at these certain regions. Now, tissues help in growth. So when tissues multiply or divide, so tab the plant grows. So wherever there's a meristematic tissue, that means this tissue is used for the growth of the plant. So this tissue multiplies so that the plant grows. That is what a meristematic tissue is. ठीक है? So meristematic tissues are located at three different parts of the plant. First is the apical meristem. This is the tip of the plant. This is how the plant grows in length, in height. So then we have the intercalary meristem. So the tissues located in this area help the plant grow in intercalary. To help the plant grow in its stem. ठीक है? And lateral meristem, whenever there are tissues located in ये वाला area, it helps the plant grow in width. तो मतलब this is the difference apical, intercalary, lateral में कि depending on the location of the meristem tissue in the plant, it helps the plant grow in different ways. So meristematic tissue helps in plant growth, basically. फिर there's permanent tissue. The permanent tissue is formed when plant tissues, when meristematic tissues take up a specific role and lose the ability to divide. So we know now that meristematic tissues need to divide because they help in growth. So when meristematic tissues stop dividing, फिर they become permanent tissues. ठीक है? This means that they have a permanent shape, size, and function. And the process of taking up this, the process of changing from a meristematic to a permanent tissue is called differentiation. ठीक है? So the cells of this meristematic tissue form different types of permanent tissue. Firstly, simple permanent tissue, and then complex permanent tissue. Yeah. So first we'll cover simple permanent tissues. There's I think 4 types total. Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and epidermis. Okay, so I won't go over these because it's very hard to remember, and I'm just doing a recap abhi. So I'll post these notes on EdGurus, and if you want to go over the properties, so you can. But I'll just give you a brief explanation. See, there's 4 types of simple permanent tissues, and I've made the notes for each of them. Yahan pe. And there is also another type of permanent tissue called complex permanent tissue. The main difference between these two is that permanent tissues are made of one type of cell, whereas complex tissues are made up of more than one type of cell. Okay? So the complex permanent tissue comes in 2 types in plants. We're specifically talking about plants here, because plant tissues, a type of plant tissue is permanent tissue, and a type of permanent tissue is simple permanent tissue, and also complex permanent tissue. So this is also a plant tissue only. And basically, a complex permanent tissue is made out of more than one type of cell, and there's 2 types. That's xylem and phloem. So I'll just let you go through the points khud se once I post the notes at Gurus pe. But now we'll get started with the aaj ki class, which is animal tissues. So abhi tak, do you have any questions iske regarding Vinayak, Soni?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No? ठीक है, बढ़िया. So if you have any, so just unmute and let me know when I'll start with animal tissues. ठीक है. So abhi tak we've covered what is a tissue, why the importance of tissues, and the different types of plant tissues, which was meristematic. फिर meristematic changes into permanent. फिर permanent mein there's 2 different types, simple and complex. ठीक है. Now animal tissues. Now the first type of animal tissue is called the epithelial tissue. Now, this means the epithelial tissue is the covering or protective tissues in the animal body. Now, iska function is that it covers most organs and cavities in the body, and it forms a barrier on these organs and cavities in order to keep different parts of the body separate. Okay, so this basically acts as a covering or like a barrier or like a protection layer for different parts inside the body. Okay. The epithelial tissue is tightly packed and it forms a continuous sheet. This is the structure of the tissue, tightly packed and continuous. And anything leaving or entering the body must cross at least one layer of epithelial tissue. Now, this means that obviously, if any substance was to travel between different organs in the body, or if any substance was to travel from outside the animal to inside the animal, it has to cross at least one layer of epithelial tissue. Kyun? Because epithelial tissue covers every single organ and covers the animal completely. It is a protective layer. So isliye it has to cross the epithelial tissue to get inside the body or to travel between different parts of the body. So this means that the tissue has to be permeable. Now, do you remember what permeable means? I think last class mein I explained it. Does anyone remember?
मैम परमिएबल मतलब वो होता है, वो मतलब मैम सेलेक्ट करके जो अंदर आए सेलेक्ट करके जो बाहर जाए वो सेलेक्ट करके करते.
Yes, exactly. So matlab permeable means ki when a layer is able to let in selective substances, तो इसका मतलब है कि this layer is permeable. So basically epithelial tissue has to be permeable so that the materials जो बाहर है या फिर जो दूसरे organs में है, they can pass through the tissue. तो इसलिए the tissue has to be permeable for certain substances. ठीक है. So it's separated from the underlying tissue by an extracellular fibrous basement membrane. This means that there is a layer between epithelial tissue and the niche wala tissue, whatever it's covering, and this layer is called this. And basically examples of epithelial tissue would be your skin, because I told you now it's like a protective covering for your body. So example would be the skin, the lining of the mouth, the lining of the blood vessels, lung alveoli, kidney tubules, all of these are examples of epithelial tissue. Okay? Now, there are 5 different types of epithelial tissues. Actually, 4. Glandular epithelium is not really a type, but so there's 4 different types of epithelial tissue. I'll go through them. So the most simple type is called the simple squamous epithelium. Okay? Now, its properties are, it is extremely thin and flat, and it is used for delicate lining. So we know na ki epithelial tissue forms a lining, yani a covering. So this is a very thin covering. So it's basically, it occurs in cells lining blood vessels or lung villi or lung alveoli or lining of the mouth. So the thinnest type of epithelial tissue is called simple squamous epithelium. And you can see this yahan pe. These are the 4 different types, and this one is the thinnest. So this is simple squamous. Okay? Then we have stratified squamous. This happens when epithelial cells are arranged in many different layers. So this provides minimal protection, hai na, because it's very thin. But when there's multiple different layers of epithelial tissue, so tab zyada protection hogi, hai na. So isliye when there are many layers of epithelial tissue, there will be extra protection. Now this type of epithelial tissue is called stratified squamous epithelium. You can see here, this is the stratified squamous epithelium. Isme there's multiple different layers of tissue. Isliye there's a very, very thick protection that is provided by this type of epithelial tissue. Now, in which places do we need itna thick protection? For example, the skin. This is because it covers our entire body, hai na? So it needs to be thick. We need to have lots of layers of protection taki the insides of our body can be safe. So isliye the epithelial tissue that is on our skin has to be very thick. That's why it is the stratified squamous epithelium, yani the very thick one that gives lots of protection. Okay, so the third type is ciliated columnar epithelium. Now here you can see that here, this is the ciliated columnar epithelium. Basically, this long epithelium facilitates movement across the epithelial barrier. So the main function of this type of epithelium is so that there can be movement of substances from above the barrier to below the barrier. We mentioned now that this epithelial tissue is permeable. So this particular type of epithelial tissue, yani ciliated columnar epithelium, helps with this permeability. Malab helps with the transport of substances from one side of the epithelium to the other side of the epithelial tissue. Okay. So it helps with the movement of substances. In the respiratory tract, this long epithelial tissue also has cilia. Now, what is cilia? Cilia means a hair-like projection on the epithelial tissue. Okay. Now, what this does is this hair-like protection helps move substances. Okay, by the cilia can move, and their movement pushes the mucus forward to clear it. So basically, this columnar epithelial tissue has cilia upar. Now, this cilia are like small hairs which can move, so that any substance on the top of this layer of cells can move. Okay, so imagine कि we have mucus in our mouth, okay, and we need to move it. So if it was a normal epithelial cell, so it would get stuck, है ना? It will get stuck upar, on top of this layer. But because we have cilia, these hair-like projections that are on top of this epithelial tissue, because we have those, that means कि anything that is stuck on this layer of tissues can move around through this cilia. So इसलिए it facilitates the movement of things through the epithelia and also on top of the epithelia. Okay, through cilia. Now, I know this is thoda sa complicated, so if you don't understand, let me know. But I can explain it again if you want. Basically, on top of this layer of epithelia, we have this thing called cilia. Cilia are small hairs that help in the movement of substances on top of this epithelia, on top of this tissue. Okay, and basically that is it. That is how to put it simply. This type of epithelial tissue occurs in places where there's absorption and secretion, such as the inner lining of the intestine. So that is the third type of epithelial tissue. Now, the fourth type would be cuboidal epithelium. That is this one, cuboidal. So basically what it does is it provides mechanical support. Epithelial cells often acquire additional specialization, such as gland cells, which can secrete substances at the epithelial surface. And cuboidal epithelium is mostly present in the lining of kidney tubules and ducts of salivary glands. So you should just know that the main function of this cuboidal epithelium is to provide support. And you know why it's called cuboidal, है ना? Because you can see it is in the shape of a cube. It is not as big as the stratified squamous, but it's also not as small as the simple squamous. It's kind of beach mein, ऐसे. So it's called cuboidal, which is mostly used to give support. Yeah. So Phil, lastly, we have glandular epithelium. This was just a chota sa line in your textbook, so I decided to include it. But वैसे these are the 4 main types. But there's also this type कि sometimes there's a portion of this epithelial tissue that folds inside. So फिर a multicellular gland is formed, and this is called the glandular epithelium. So this is just an extra definition. These are the 4 most important ones. And this is just extra कि what happens when a portion of the epithelial tissue folds inwards? The glandular epithelium is formed. Bas. Now, do we have any questions about epithelial tissues अभी तक?
No.
नहीं? Okay. ठीक है, बढ़िया. So the next type of animal tissue is connective tissue. Total 4 types of animal tissues. Right now we're on the second type, that is connective tissue. Now, I'll tell you what a connective tissue is. Essentially, it is a tissue that helps connect two different parts of the body. Okay, it's very simple. That's the reason it's called connective tissue, because it helps connect two different parts of the body. Now, the cells of this connective tissue are loosely spaced and embedded in an intercellular matrix. Now, what does this mean? Obviously, we know that a tissue is made up of multiple cells, hai na? But how do these cells stick together? Matlab, how are these cells part of the same tissue? How do they combine taki they make a single tissue? They combine through an intercellular matrix. Now, you can think of a matrix as some type of glue that holds multiple different cells together to form a tissue. Okay, just think of it as a matrix is not glue, but if you want to imagine it, if you want to visualize it, so multiple different cells are connected to form a tissue, and these cells are connected through a glue called the intercellular matrix. Okay? So in connective tissues, these cells are loosely spaced. They are not tightly glued together. They are somewhat loosely glued together. And the glue that they are glued together in is called the intercellular matrix. Okay? So remember this, because intercellular matrix will come up a lot. It's connective tissue. It's basically the glue that holds the cells together to form the tissue. So second point, the matrix may be jelly-like, fluid, dense, or rigid. So this glue that I was just talking about abhi, it might have a jelly-like consistency. It might be fluid like water. It might be thick, dense, like might be very thick, or it might be rigid. It might be solid also. So it depends on the function of the tissue. The form that the matrix exists depends on the function of the tissue. है ना? So for example, blood is a connective tissue. है ना? But blood is liquid. So that means कि its intercellular matrix, what does it have to? It can't be rigid, है ना? Because blood, if the matrix was rigid, तो फिर blood would be solid, and this is not the case. Now we know कि blood is rigid, so it has to have a fluid intercellular matrix. तो मतलब ऐसे ही the intercellular matrix of different connective tissues depends on its functions. ठीक है? So we'll go through this एक बार. Blood has a fluid matrix. I just said na, कि blood is liquid, so it cannot have a dense matrix. It cannot have a rigid matrix. The matrix has to be fluid so that the blood can flow in the body. So इसलिए blood has a fluid or liquid matrix. The name of this matrix is called plasma. And now again, matrix means the glue that binds the cells together to form the tissue. So blood mein, this glue is in the form of a liquid, and it is called plasma. So in this plasma, we have RBCs, yani red blood cells, we have WBCs or white blood cells, and we have platelets. So this line is just describing the plasma. The plasma is the liquid matrix that the cells of the blood are embedded in, and the plasma contains RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. Okay? The plasma also contains proteins, salts, and hormones. Plasma yani the liquid matrix. In blood, it is called the plasma. It also contains proteins, salts, and hormones. And the function of blood is to flow, transport gases, transport digested food, hormones, and waste materials to different parts of the body. So this is the function of blood. So that is the first type of connective tissue, that is blood. Second type of connective tissue is bone. Now, can you tell me ki how will the bone ka intercellular matrix be? Will it be jelly-like or fluid or dense or rigid, depending on the function of rigid? Huh, exactly. Kyun? Because the bone is needed. The bone is solid. है ना? We know कि our bones are solid and they need to be solid so that our body has shapes, so that the bones can give us movement in the body. The bones need to be solid because our bones cannot break. है ना? So we know now our bones are not liquid. So इसलिए the intercellular matrix जहाँ पे the cells are glued together has to be solid so that the bone is solid. Because it forms the framework that supports the body, anchors the muscles, and supports the main organs of the body. It is strong and not flexible. Bone cells are embedded in a hard matrix, yani a rigid matrix, that is composed of calcium and phosphorus compounds. This way here. Now, the third type of connective tissue is called ligament. Now, what is a ligament? Ligament is a connective tissue that connects two bones together. So obviously bone is a connective tissue, but bones also need to be connected together. Hai na? So this is done by another connective tissue that is called the ligament. This tissue is very elastic, it has considerable strength, and has very little matrix. Malab, the glue that binds the cells together is very less in a ligament. So, and the main function of a ligament is to connect two bones. Okay? So there's 4 more types of connective tissues. There's tendons. So here we know na ki bones is a connective tissue. Ligaments are used to connect two bones together, and tendons are used to connect muscles to bones. Okay, so tendons are fibrous tissues with great strength but limited flexibility. That is the definition of a tendon. For another type of connective tissue is cartilage. What is cartilage? Cartilage smoothens bone surfaces at joints and is also present in the nose, ear, trachea, and larynx. So I'll explain this for her because I think it's a bit complicated. Basically, bones connect to each other through ligaments. Hai na? Two bones can be connected by a ligament. But when these two bones are connected, if they rub against each other too much, to fir these bones might get chipped. If you rub two very hard things together, so maybe there might be scratches or there might be marks or you might break these hard things या फिर cause cracks in them या कुछ. So the cartilage is there to provide some type of covering in the areas where these bones are connected so that the bones don't chip या फिर the bones don't get cracked या फिर whatever. When they are rubbing against each other, they are covered with the cartilage so that the bones are protected from each other, protected from cracking. So it's basically like a covering or like a protective layer around the joints of the bones so that the bones don't chip. Okay, that's what a cartilage is. The matrix is solid in a cartilage and it is composed of proteins and sugars. And another property of cartilage is that in the matrix, the cells are widely spaced. There's a lot of space between the cells that are embedded in the matrix. Yeah. So the next tissue now is the areolar connective tissue. It is found between the skin and the muscles. So there's many different types here. We have ligament that is between bone and bone. We have tendon that is between muscle and bone. We have cartilage that is also between bone and bone on the joints. Then we have areolar that is between skin and muscle. And it's between skin and muscles and also around blood vessels and in nerves and in bone marrow. It's in many different places. It's called areolar connective tissue. Basically, iska function is ki it fills the space inside organs, supports internal organs, and helps in the repair of tissues. Okay? Then the last type of connective tissue is adipose tissue. Its location is below the skin and between the organs. The cells of this tissue are filled with fat globules, and storage of fats also lets it act as an insulator. Okay, So adipose tissue is a fat storing tissue, and it acts as an insulator cue, because when a cell stores fats, the fats are able to insulate. Insulate matlab retain heat, prevent heat from being lost. That is the meaning of insulation. Ki if I have a warm water bottle and I insulate it, this means ki the water bottle will remain warm. ठीक है? The heat will not leave the water bottle. So adipose tissue helps with insulation because it contains fat molecules which act as an insulator, which don't let heat leave. And it is found below the skin and between the internal organs. Okay? So those were the 2 slides for connective tissues. Does anyone have any questions connective tissues ke bare mein? मैं audible हूँ ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ठीक है. बढ़िया. So now the third type of animal tissue is muscular tissue. The points of this, so we just have 2 more slides of muscular tissue and nervous tissue. So muscular tissue basically consists of elongated cells, also called muscle fibers. This tissue is responsible for movement in our body. It contains special proteins called contractile proteins, which contract and relax to cause movement. Okay, so muscular tissues consist of very long cells. These cells are called muscle fibers. And what do muscles do? They are responsible for movement in our body. This is what muscular tissues do. And muscular tissues contain contractile proteins. Now, what are contractile proteins? These are proteins which contract and relax to cause movement. Okay? So how do the muscular tissues move? Because they consist of contractile proteins which help in movement. Now, there's 2 different types of muscular tissues here. First is voluntary, फिर involuntary. So voluntary muscles are muscles which can be moved by us consciously. Now, इसका मतलब क्या है? Do you have any guesses कि voluntary muscles क्या होंगे?
No,
Muscle?
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, a muscle which can be moved by us consciously. So can you think of a muscle which you can move खुद से? Any muscle in your body that you can move अपने आप. With just by thinking, you can move it.
Ma'am, eye blinking.
Eye blinking, exactly. Hand moving, eye blinking, leg moving, basically any muscle that you can control. Like your mouth muscles, your face muscles, your arm muscles, your leg muscles, any of these movements you can control apne aap na. You think ki I want to move this muscle and then you move it. So that's
Yeah.
So basically this is what a voluntary muscle is ki apne aap, if you think of moving it, you can move it. Now, involuntary muscles is different. Okay? Involuntary muscles are muscles that move apne aap and that you cannot control the movement of. For example, the heart, the muscles in the heart, you can't control, hai na? Your heart beats apne aap. You are not able to control how fast your heart beats ya fir how slow your heart beats. It happens apne aap. So that's the reason the heart muscles are called involuntary muscles, because you cannot control it. But the voluntary muscles like arm, leg, eye, face, etc. are muscles that you can control. Isliye they're called voluntary. So that's the basic difference. Voluntary muscles are also called skeletal muscles, as they are mostly attached to the bones. Under the microscope, these muscles show alternate light and dark bands or striations, which is why they're called striated muscles. So voluntary muscles are also called skeletal muscles and are also called striated muscles. And these cells look long, cylindrical, unbranched, and multinucleate. Multinucleate means multiple different nucleus. So here you can see ki A is striated muscle. This is what a voluntary muscle looks like. So basically they're also called skeletal muscles or also called striated muscles, and the cells are long, cylindrical, unbranched, and multinucleate. Okay? Now the second type of muscle, involuntary muscles, as I said pehle, these are muscles which you cannot control khud se. they are involved in the movement. For example, muscles that are involved in the movement of food or in the contraction and relaxation of blood vessels, or they are found inside the eye or in the uterus or in the bronchi of the lungs. And also cardiac muscles are a type of involuntary muscle. These muscles of the heart show rhythmic contraction and relaxation throughout life. This is what I said earlier, na, ki heart muscles cannot be controlled. These muscles are also called cardiac muscles, and they are involuntary. Basically, the properties of these cells are key. They are long with pointed ends and uninucleate. So here we saw that they are long, cylindrical, and multinucleate. Involuntary are long, pointed ends, and uninucleate. Matlab they have a single nucleus. Okay? Under the microscope, they do not show alternate light and dark bands, so they are called unstriated. So that is another difference. Ki involuntary are unstriated, but voluntary is striated. So the two main differences here are ki voluntary muscles can be moved by us consciously. Involuntary muscles cannot be controlled. Voluntary muscles are striated. Involuntary muscles are unstriated. Voluntary muscles are multinucleate and involuntary muscles are uninucleate. And वैसे all of these points are differences and you can just go through them एक बार, but those are the main differences that I wanted to point out. So that is muscular tissue. It's बस इतना सा. And the last and final animal tissue is called nervous tissue. ठीक है? The cells of this tissue are highly specialized for being stimulated and then transmitting the stimulus very rapidly from one place to another within the body. So what does the nervous tissue do? It detects stimulation. Stimulation malab, if there is something that is being done to this nervous tissue. For example, if I touch a book, so the nervous tissues on my hand will feel the book being touched. Okay? So a nervous tissue basically helps with feeling. Okay, for example, if I pick up my textbook, तो फिर the nervous tissues मेरे हाथ में will feel the book in my hand. फिर they will transfer this signal. This signal यानी कि I am holding a book in my hand and they feel it. So this feeling will be transferred from the nervous tissue in my hand all the way to my brain so that I can feel this feeling. So basically nervous tissue is throughout the body and they help transfer all of these feelings from where they are in the body to the brain. That is the main job of the nervous tissue, is to transfer feelings, is to like communicate feelings to the brain. So the brain, spinal cord, and nerves are all composed of the nervous tissue. The cells of this nervous tissue, basically we know na ki tissues are made up of cells. So the cells of this tissue are called nerve cells or also called neurons. The neurons of a cell body, the neurons consist of a cell body with a nucleus and cytoplasm. So this is a neuron, right? Here we can see the nucleus. Here, this is the cytoplasm. And it also contains a long, thin part called the axon. And around the cell body, there's also long, thin branches called the dendrites. So that's what I wrote here, is a neuron consists of a cell body with a nucleus here and a cytoplasm here. Usually each neuron has a single long part called the axon. This is this. And many short branch parts called the dendrites. That is these. Okay? So that is the shape of a nerve cell. And many multiple nerve cells form a tissue called the nervous tissue. Okay? An individual neuron may be up to a meter long. Many neurons bound together by connective tissue make up a nerve. So this is what I said, na, ki many of these things bound together make up nervous tissue. So nerve impulses allow us to move our muscles when we want to. So they help transport feelings and they help us move our muscles. So that is the function of nervous tissue. That's basically all of the animal tissues so far is chapter mein. And we finished the chapter. That's the end of the chapter. We have, I think, 4 different types of animal tissues. We have 2 different types of plant tissues. No, sorry, 3 different types of plant tissues. That's complex, simple, and meristematic. and we have the definition of a tissue initially. And that is the tissue chapter for class 9 biology. Does anyone have any questions कोई specific slide के बारे में, or do you want me to go over something twice, या फिर मतलब any confusions you might have?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
No? ठीक है, बढ़िया. So I will upload these slides at Gurus पे. If you have any more questions regarding the slides, तो फिर बस message कर देना, और या फिर post on at Gurus and I will reply there. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
ठीक है, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.